Hello again, and welcome back to the Flyin Style Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, here with my co-host, Stephen Masley.
What's up, baby?
And it is officially Cowboys week.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir, it is. And you know
Big
what
week.
else it is, Matt Mitchell? The Phillies can win the series tonight, and I'm hype about it.
Hell yeah, dude. They have been electric in the past few games, and I've been so excited.
I'm so happy.
Everything about them. Rob Thompson is rallying the troops. You got Bryce, big boy Bryce hitting his bombs.
Doing so well.
Reese finally came to show up, sort of.
Sort of, kind of.
It's an exciting time. And Castellanos. What about Castellanos, dude?
He's paying off his contract.
Hell yeah.
Right now.
Screw the rest of the season, man. He's worth it.
He's so worth it.
But all right. We're giving a big shout out to the Phils today, hoping they can take one away from the Braves, move on to the championship series. But let's jump right into the Cowboys week. You know, this is the biggest week of the season. This is everybody's favorite. So what are you thinking initially, Mess?
So my initial thoughts is that Cooper Rush is starting, and I don't think he's a good quarterback to start off with that point. And we're gonna dig into that a little bit more. And then my fear about this week is their defense, and that's the only thing I'm scared of on this team. I'm scared of a few other pieces on their offense, but other than that, that's my main concern going into this week. And obviously, never gonna pick the Cowboys winning against us, but.
Those are the obvious points. You know, they've got a great defense this year. Their offense is a little lackluster only because they have Cooper Rush in there, who has actually been very serviceable, 5-0 as a quarterback starting in the NFL. But he does the right things, but he's not a good quarterback.
No, he has, but it's not. Dak is going to start when he come back. So all that QB controversy they talk about ESPN, it's not.
There is no controversy. The Cowboys don't consider this a controversy. I know they're winning. They're not winning because of Cooper Rush. They're winning because of their defense.
Yes, 100%.
But let's jump into it. Obviously, we talked about the Eagles offense last week and the concerns we had with them. It was a little bit, wishy-washy. The run game wasn't established. We saw some mistakes. They struggled with the blitz. What are your biggest concerns and focuses this week?
My biggest concern is that exactly if we can establish a run game, because Micah Parsons is a beast. I think their D-line is pretty good with DeMarcus Lawrence and the other guy that you mentioned earlier before pregame. Who's the other D-line?
Sorry, he's a new DN to us too. His name's Dorrance Armstrong, but he's been killing it for the Cowboys. He's got 12 total tackles and 4 of those being sacks.
He's a beast. So they do have a good D-line, and they're going to get it. But the thing is about the Eagles that I'm very excited to say, we're 100% healthy. Everyone's playing Dallas week because we have a bye next week, and everyone's getting – if they have a lingering injury, they're playing through it, and I'm so happy to hear that. That's so happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's definitely huge, seeing the team be tough. You know, it's awesome to see the guys rallying on Dallas week. Like, it's fun. It's just funny because all the players that are hurt this week were like, oh, come on, it's Eagles week, or it's Dallas week. You know, it's like you gotta play. You can't not play. It's like it's almost like this. It's almost like a Super Bowl of its own.
It especially going to a bye. This is the biggest game I think of the season, just based off of I think the Vikings are a better team, but that's beside the point. I think this is the biggest. This is our hardest opponent in our division, and no knock to the Giants because they have been playing very well. But I think Dallas is a different type of energy, and they're scary, dude. And my biggest concern going into this is that we will not. We're just. I don't really have too many concerns. I just get nervous that we're going to underestimate them for some reason. And obviously they're 4-1. We're not going to underestimate them, but that's my only concern. I think we might underestimate them a little bit.
Underestimating them is the wrong word, because
that is the wrong word.
Like I just mentioned, everyone knows it's Eagles Dallas week. Every player on both teams is looking to come out with their all and punch them in the face. But I think that, obviously I agree with you that I think that Vikings have a more talented roster as of right now. But this is absolutely going to be our hardest game. Not only are they debatably one of the top 2 teams we've played so far, but especially the best defense we've played so far.
100%.
But it's a divisional game. I've talked about this before. Divisional games are always close. And on top of that, this is absolutely the most important game of the season because this is going to determine what the rest of the division is going to look like for the rest of the year.
100%.
If we lose this game, we drop to 5-1, tied with the Cowboys and the Giants. If we win this game, we go up 6-0. Cowboys go to 4-2. It makes a huge difference. That 2-game gap in the division race makes a massive difference.
It does.
So this is absolutely the biggest game we're going to be playing, maybe all year, let alone up to this point.
Yeah. I mean, our schedule isn't too bad. It's just like it's also revenge because last year they beat the crap out of us.
Both times.
And I know the week 18 or whatever, it's week 18, I guess you could call it. We didn't start our starters and we had our backups in, but I was at that game and they murdered us. And it was just sad to see. You never want to see Dallas beat the Eagles. Like it has a lingering thought in most of these players' minds that it didn't go away at all. That's why I'm hype that they're all playing and they're all healthy, quote unquote. And they're just,
hey, well, dude, that's probably a big reason for it. Not only is it Cowboys week, but these guys are all returning players. They're thinking we're not missing this game. Exactly. It's a revenge game for sure. We got demolished by them both times last year. Didn't win the division. This is a statement game for them. We're 5-0, supposed to be the best team in the NFL right now. We want to come out and kick their asses, dude. We do not want to play games with these guys. The Cowboys, dude.
I gotta hold it in for later, man.
No, dude, no. I like
Dallas, the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones. I'll go on out right now. I hate this stupid team. This team is a stupid organization. State of Texas, and I hate everyone on this stupid fucking team. There we go. There's my F-bombs for the day. I apologize for
all. Wow, I hope that gets bleeped out.
It's awful. I'm a piece of crap, and I can't hold it in anymore. I hate this team.
Man.
I'm hyped. Let's go into the offense.
You walk down Broad Street on Dallas week, and you wear a Cowboys jersey. You'll see a 5-year-old giving you the finger. It's just Philly. You gotta be like that on Cowboys week.
We're not the most respectful people in the world.
No, not quite. But we're the most passionate. Don't forget.
Passionate. We got passion.
Yeah.
Right, let's go into the offense. What we want to see from them. You can start it off.
Well, you hit on it before. Obviously, I want to see us breaking down the run game, and I'd love to see us bullying Micah Parsons specifically. Whatever side he's on, I would love to see us like punching it down their throat onto his side, bully him, not hurt him, but take it to Parsons. Take the game to Parsons. Don't let him come to us. Like run kickouts where you're having Jason Kelsey kick him off the edge. Have your tackle come across and kick him out. Run these plays where you're going to get Micah Parsons hit, and get him bumped up early. And I've mentioned a million times that I think that the run game establishes our offense, and if you can do that while taking it to Micah Parsons, I think that'll be great.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. But my point, I think, is going to make a huge difference in this game is going to be our passing game, because I don't think Trayvon Diggs is an all-pro corner. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just a hater, but he jumps routes to get interceptions. That's why I had the most last year.
Well, I go back and forth between him. I don't think that he's I don't think that in his technique he's a fantastic corner. He's obviously a wide receiver transition to corner, so he's got the talent, but I don't think he has the technique that you need as a corner. But he reminds me of a guy like Asante Samuel. He'll let up it might be disrespectful. I'm just let me get to my point. But Asante Samuel was the kind of guy that let up a lot of deep balls, let up a lot of yards, but had a ton of interceptions in his career. Was a complete ball hawk, but he let up a lot of big plays. I think that Trayvon Diggs is a similar player. He's already got 2 picks this year. He's the leading interception guy from the NFL last year. He's a ball hawk. He's not a great corner. He's a ball hawk.
So to your point, I hate the comparison because it's a good comparison in general. I just hate the Cowboys.
I don't mean to, I love Asante Samuel too. I don't mean it in that way.
But the thing is, he is, but I don't think personally he could guard AJ Brown like 1-on-1. I don't think he can at all. And I think we need to get him the ball. I think we need to get AJ Brown this game. This is get him the ball.
Last game we didn't run plays for AJ Brown. He got 3 receptions. He got 3 receptions in the first drive, And I felt like while I was watching the game, it didn't really seem like they weren't getting him open. It just felt like they weren't running plays to get him open.
Look at him. They didn't look at him at all, Matt.
It just didn't. They were throwing the screens. They were throwing I don't even know. They weren't looking his direction.
The gameplay, I need a different game plan, Sirianni. If I watch the same game plan, we're going to lose 100%, like 1,000% actually, because that's not, you can't do RPOs. We can't run that. We have to, if we could throw the ball downfield to them. Like Malik Hooker is not that good as a safety. Like I'm not scared of them under DB.
He's all right. He's all right. I wouldn't.
He's very good. Maybe I'm just a big hater, by the way, guys. Take this all with a grain of salt because I hate everyone on this team. If you wear a star on your helmet, like Jason Peters, I love you, but like you're an enemy to me this game. And I have to think that way because I'm a big Dallas hater. I hate this team.
Speaking of Jason Peters, before you get on with your point, what do you think that the Eagles fans are going to do when he comes into the stadium? Do you think they're going to give him a standing O? Do you think they're going to do nothing, or do you think they're all going to boo him?
I don't think it's a standing ovation, personally.
I think after the comments he made this week, it's definitely not a standing O. But I think that if he didn't make those comments, it could have been.
It could have been. Do you want to quote the comments just for the viewers?
Yeah, I don't have the full quote, but basically he came out and said that Philly fans are fucking idiots and that they'll do whatever they can to get under a player's skin. I think that quote was taken out of context. I think he was kind of just being like, they're fucking idiots. They're Philly fans.
We definitely
I didn't think he meant it super maliciously. But then the quote that bothered me was when he said that he was pretty convinced that he was going to have trash thrown at him and get hit by trash coming into the stadium. And I was like, dude, do you really think we're that scummy? Come on, dude. Like now we want to. I can't lie. Now we want to, but that was excessive, and it was a little bit immature of him. It was already enough for Eagles fans to see our longtime Hall of Fame tackle go to our, hardest rival. He's making it hard. He's making it hard to appreciate him right now.
Making it hard to love him. I mean, obviously, I still love him, and I will.
Still got all the respect in the world for him, but love him is starting to go away.
Yeah,
not respect for him, but the love is starting to dwindle.
It's not leaving me because I just remember.
No, it won't actually leave me. Jason Peters did a lot of good things for us,
but anyway, back to the point. I just want to use AJ Brown more, and I love Devonta Smith. And I just think this passing game needs to open up in order for us to win this game. I think we need to this is the game that you're like, oh my god, Jalen Hurts is the pocket master, and he can do it, and I want to see that happen. I know we have to establish the run and everything, and it'll lead to it if we can. But since Sirianni just refuses to run under center, play action won't ever open up. And that's my just opinion. I just really just want to see the passing game not be screens.
I agree. And I mean, you've heard me say it a million times. I've been saying it not just this year in the podcast, but for years prior. I've been saying since the Chip Kelly era that I've never thought that the screens worked. I know they work from time to time, but not even that well. Like when they work at their best, you're getting like 15 yards. Like sometimes you can break them for a touchdown, I suppose, but it's rare. It's very rare. And yeah, time and place. Not every play.
Like when they're blitzing and getting pressure on you, that's when they're running upfield. Then you can use a screen. But when you're doing a pop screen with the corner 2 yards away, like what are you doing to Devonta Smith? You're trying to get him hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and I heard Jason Kelce talking on his podcast about the QB sneaks they've been doing, and he was talking about the time where we ran 3 QB sneaks back to back to back, and he was like, "Dude, it's brutal for all of us." He was like, "It's starting to get to be too much." It's like he was mentioning the fact that it was like he's even been quoted mentioning the fact that he thinks that the QB sneak is the best play in the playbook for getting a yard.
Yeah,
absolutely. And now you've got the guy that was super hard defending the QB sneak is coming out in his podcast and saying, "Yeah, we're running it too much. Chill out.
You're hurting. You're gonna hurt Jalen."
Exactly. I've mentioned a million times that I think he's been getting too many hits, and it's too early in the season. So I would love to see us running Hurts less, running Sanders more, and on top of it, I don't think it would necessarily make us better. But in terms of applying pressure, I'd love to see us running a no-huddle offense this game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it would just be I think it would just be nice to keep the Cowboys on their toes, tired. I want to play bully ball against the Cowboys. I don't care if we don't score a lot of points. I wouldn't mind if we won the game 14-7 if we're just bullying the crap out of them and moving down the field with the run game all game. And I'm not saying that's how it's going to go, but I would love to see something like that.
It's just a hard team to bully because they do have a talented defensive line, and then their linebacker cores. I love the linebacking core, like Van Der Esch and Parsons. That's a great linebacking core, and it's going to be hard to bully them. And I just think that
when I say bully them, I don't want you to take that the wrong way. When I say bully them, I just mean punching them in the face every play.
Just go at it. Okay.
Just go at them. Like even if you're not like I don't care if it's like a 2-yard gain, like just pop them all the time. Like everything you gotta have it, and every single play. And I want to tire them out. And you're right, their defense is very good. I mean, their defense has 20 sacks on the season in 5 games, which is incredible. Another thing that worries me because we have not done well against the blitz.
We haven't seen it hasn't affected us because Jalen's been very good at getting when he does get sacked, he only loses 5 yards like max. Like he's been very good at that. Like when do see a sack happen, people are like, he got like basically tackled for a loss. Like that's what it feels like to me at least.
Yeah, no, 100%. He does a pretty good job of not losing a ton of yards on the sacks, and I don't know with this defense, the way that we've been playing, and the way that we just played against the Cardinals, especially, they're going to blitz us.
Yeah,
they are going to blitz. They watched the film, and we did terrible against the blitz. They're gonna blitz. Like
Jalen got to be ready for that.
But once again, we do have 2 of our linemen back. Or just one, just Mailata, but a big one at that.
That's a left tackle.
So I think we should be able to handle it a little better than we did against the Cardinals, but it still scares me. All season we've struggled against the blitz.
No, it's a big concern. And let's segue into the defense now. Our defense versus their offense. I feel like our defense, same thing. If Cooper Rush gets pressure on him, he can't run away. Cooper Rush is I know he's been winning. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He has done the minimum for this team. Like he has done a serviceable backup. With 167 yards, he averages per game. He's been sacked 7 times. Like he's been getting check down passes and just like he has like 9 attempts for rushing. He has 6 yards. Like he cannot run on us. So if we can get him, he's not getting out of the pocket. So if we can get pressure on him, that's what I want to see from our defense. I would love nothing more to sack Cooper Rush like 5 times. I would love it.
Dude, I want to see the same game plan we use against the Vikings, which I know isn't that simple, but against the Vikings,
what it is though.
I know. Against the Vikings, I saw us using the run game more, passing the ball over the middle, like I've always said, blitzing, using stunts, mixing up your man and zone coverages. Like I felt like we just ran a really good game plan in that game.
We did. And
I don't know why we haven't continued using it, but I think this is the game to bring it back 100%.
And the worst part, I'm not scared of Zeke or Pollard. Like I'm not necessarily scared of either of them. I'm scared of one more. It's kind of Pollard, which is the craziest part because he's got half the touches and with the same amount of yards. He's 50 yards less with 44 touches compared to 81 touches. Which is
I honestly hope I'm wrong, but I have a strange feeling that both of them are going to score at least 1 touchdown against us in this game.
They could. I mean, it's very fair to say. And they have talent on their offense. Like Gallup is good. Obviously, they have CeeDee Lamb. Like obviously he's number 1, but I like Gallup as the number 2. And then I think Schultz was back this week too. Am I wrong about that? I'm
not sure. I'll have to check on that. I'll let you know.
No, he's active. I just saw it. But that's a big key to their offense. And but the thing is, I'm not scared of Cooper Rush. I don't care. Like you could do whatever you want. If we could shut down the run game and make Cooper Rush beat us, quote unquote, he's not going to beat us. And I'm not. If he does, I'm going to come on and cry in the next podcast. Like, I promise you, he will not be going for like 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. And if it does happen, then I'm literally going to come on here crying, I guess.
Well, another thing that we should point out coming into this game is that CeeDee Lamb's actually questionable. He is expected to play, but he's dealing with a hip injury, which is not super ideal for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna I didn't know that actually. So I think that's going to be a big impact on their team. He's obviously their guy. He's their main producer. If he's not playing to his fullest while he's trying, he's got to go against Slay.
It does.
And, you need everything you can bring to the table when you're playing against Slay. It's going to be dangerous for them. But
Slay's a little banged up too, but he's obviously fine.
Yeah, so. He had a wrist problem, but he's seeming to do okay with that.
But
another thing I wanted to point out too is that Cooper Rush doesn't turn the ball over much. This team does not turn the ball over much. Cooper Rush has no picks this year. I don't believe they have any fumbles. They really take care of the ball, and that's something that the Eagles have made a lot of their success off of this year is taking the ball away from the other team. So do you think that if we don't take the ball away from from the Cowboys this week, that we're still in good position?
No, I think we definitely have to get some turnovers. And it's not even a fact because we did going into the last week the best turnover differential in the league at plus.
We still do.
We still have it? Okay.
Yes.
To that point, but I think we do need to get turnover this game. And I think it's gonna only help the offense because of momentum. And I think it'll just carry on to the offensive side of the ball. If we get a turnover, I only think that hypes up the fans even more and gives the offense the drive that they get a touchdown on it. I just don't see Cooper Rush throwing like a pick to Slay and us not getting like a score out of that drive. Like I personally think.
Another thing to think about is the fact that they're coming into a hype stadium, obviously only second home game, and you have to consider the fact that the Phillies are in the playoffs right now. Philadelphia is jumping right now. Yeah, Philadelphia is jumping, and that stadium is also going to be the same way. And it's going to matter. It's definitely going to take at least a piece of the equation.
No, 100% will. And it's maybe I'm crazy, but how do you think this game's going to go before I make my outlandish statement?
Well, I think that it's going to be a really close game. I think this is going to be a down to the wire, back and forth, punch for punch. So, are you asking for my prediction?
I'm going to ask how you think the game's going to go and your prediction.
All right. Well, I think that the way I look at it is that we've got two teams with two great defenses. And I don't really think that one's better than the other. I know the Cowboys technically by stats are better. I do not think that they're a better defensive team than we are. So with that being said, I think that our offense is much better than their offense. So I think that we're the better team by a decent margin right now. And I think it's going to be chippy, obviously being an Eagles-Cowboys game, so it's going to be close. But I think we're going to take this one away 24-17.
Wow. Okay. That was, yeah, that is a close game. I have maybe a bad statement to say. I think we're going to kill them. And I think we're going to show that Cooper Rush cannot be a starting quarterback in this league. And I think they're going to pray for Dak Prescott to be back after this game. And I think that we're going to murder this team. And not because of our offense, because of our defense. And I think they're going to step up, get turnovers, which they haven't done before. And they're going to face this adversity that they were playing close games against. And I think their winnings have been good wins, but Cincinnati, they won by 3. That was a stupid game. They killed the Rams because they got turnovers in their defense and obviously killed the Commanders.
Yeah, well, they won that game against the Rams with 150 yards of offense or something.
Exactly. I think that we're going to be able, if we can throw the ball and Sirianni, please don't throw screens. I think we can kill this team. My prediction is 32-14. I think we're going to kill this team. I think we could run over this team. And if we could play, and I've been saying it, I've been praying for it every week, and we've been mentioning it. I need 4 quarters of football from this team. 4 good quarters.
Seems to be a lot to ask.
It's so much to ask for a great team. How am I asking for that from a 5-0 team? It's like ridiculous to ask.
It's hard to believe
that we're a second quarter team. Who is the second quarter team, Matt? Please tell me, when have you ever heard a second quarter team?
I don't think I've ever seen a second quarter team before
I've
this year.
heard first half teams. I've heard second half teams. I've heard fourth quarter teams.
Never a second quarter team.
What is this crap? Come on, Eagles. Step it up, and we can kill this team. We can literally kill this team.
I agree that we have the potential, but I trust me, I hope you're right. It would be awesome to watch an Eagles Cowboys blowout for the Eagles. I would love nothing more. There's really not much in the world that makes me happier than watching the Cowboys lose, let alone watching them lose to the Eagles, let alone it being an absolute blowout.
Sunday Night Football. Let's go.
I also love that that's the primetime game over the Chiefs-Bills.
It's so funny, isn't it?
I know. I'm sure other fans aren't as happy about that as we are, but
is the Chiefs Bill a 1:00 game? I'm just curious.
I don't think so. I think it's a 4:25.
Okay, because it's in Kansas City. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I just think that's great though, because
how do you have a game like that in the playoffs last year, and then you don't their first rematch you don't make them primetime?
Don't talk about the NFL about scheduling. That Thursday night football game was.
Oh,
we're going into our picks now. I know I won with the Commanders. I was throwing up watching that game.
Oh, geez. I mean, you won that game, but I almost won it like 5 different times.
I didn't like the win I got. I'm like, how did Moody not get that touchdown?
In that game, they got a delay of game on 4th and 10 with the game on the line. Then they would have had the first down on the next pass, and he dropped the ball that hit him in the chest. Then they somehow get the ball back before the clock expires, drive down the field, and then drop 2 touchdown passes. Are you serious?
Like I said, Matt, I wasn't betting on the Commanders. I was betting against the Bears.
Oh, it was so brutal, dude. I didn't even care at that point. I was just like, man.
It's disgusting. So what do you got this week on the Matt Mitchell fade slate? I mean, your Sunday slate.
My famous slate, obviously. This week I got a few good ones, I think. One's a little risky. I'm going to start with my underdog.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the surprise pick of the Jets plus 7.5 over the Packers.
Jets.
As crazy as you would think that would sound, the Jets have been rolling lately. They've been playing good defense, especially. And the Packers have not looked very hot. And their offense especially has not looked very hot. Trust me, as somebody that has Aaron Rodgers on my fantasy team.
He's not doing very well.
No. He's not doing bad. They just don't have weapons.
They don't have weapons.
But anyway, that's beside the point. My next pick is going to be the Vikings -3 against the Dolphins. If this was 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have said that. But I think that actually, is Tua playing this week?
That's what I think he's still out in concussion protocol.
I saw that he got cleared from protocol, but I don't know if he's playing or not.
I think based on like the NFL in general, they're just taking it very slowly because obviously they put him back in way too early the first game. He's still listed. I think he is listed as out on the ESPN app. He is cleared by press protocol, but will still remain out against the Vikings. That's the source of NFL Network. But,
so he'll make his comeback next week because I got a report from Bleacher Report today that he was returning. I just didn't know if that said this week or next week.
Yeah, it has to be next week and they have the third string quarterback in, so I really like that pick. It's not gonna be
that's my thing. You know, they got a good team still, but with the third string quarterback in, it's very hard to win.
Skylar Thompson.
And on top of that, the line's not very high, even considering that fact.
It's kind of crazy.
And I think the Vikings are a pretty good team. So I think that's a good pick. I would lock that in.
Okay.
And for my last pick, I think this is another relatively easy pick, but every time I say this, it tends to go completely.
This is the one to fade.
Knocking on the wood, but I'm going to go with the 49ers -4.5 over the Falcons. We have all watched football this year. The Falcons are not a good team. Okay. If I lose this one, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I can't wait to come on this podcast and at least straight up. And it's gonna be like funny. I'm not picking it because I'm gonna say my pick in a second. It's just
I honestly am scared myself.
It's just like, why is the line that? Like what did the Falcons ever do good? What have they done this year? They just got blown up by Tampa Bay, but they could have had a comeback drive. Everyone's blaming it on like Tom Brady got sacked and they don't give me that crap.
I shouldn't say they're as bad of a team as I made them sound, but they're not a good team by any means.
They're okay. They're
not a good. I didn't say they're. I said they're terrible and took that back, but they're not a good team.
Yeah.
But those are my 3 picks for the week: Jets plus 7.5, Vikings -3, 49ers -4.5.
So as usual, I like a pick that Matt or I'm on the opposite side of Matt on one pick, and that's the Packers -7.5. I think that they're going to be able to run the ball on this Jets defense. I know the Jets have been playing very good football lately. I just think going into Lambeau that Zach Wilson won't have the greatest game that he has had the past couple weeks. He's played pretty well, and I think that the Packers are able to get it back, and I think they're going to win by 10. My underdog pick of the week is going to be the Saints over the Bengals, or I'm going to take them at +3. I'm going to take them by the field goal coverage. I don't think the Bengals have showed anything to be an away favorite against the Saints. I think the line is just not right. I think it should be more of a pick 'em. And I don't think the Saints defense is bad at all by any means. I think they're a top echelon defense in the league. And I don't think the Bengals have proved anything worthy to be what they were last year, in my personal opinion. So I'm picking the Saints +3. My last pick is going to be a pick against the team again, because I don't know how are the Giants good, Matt?
That's a question that not a single person can answer.
I asked my friend, shout out Nick Alshamis. He's a diehard Giants fan. I texted him after the Packers game. I said, what just happened? Are the Giants good at football? He goes, I don't know. He literally says, I don't know. And he's a diehard Giants fan. So I'm taking the Ravens -5.5 as my last pick, but I don't know if they're good either. I don't
trust me. I also like that pick. I wanted to take that game too, but I picked the Ravens last week, so I didn't want to pick them again. But there's such a question mark because their O-line plays crappy, and then they'll come back and play a stellar week the next week. Their defense will play crappy, and then come back and play stellar the next week. It's so hard to say if they're a good team or not. Obviously, they have the easiest schedule in the league, right ahead of us. So it's hard to say. Obviously, our division was for years considered the worst division in the league for the past 5 years.
Yeah,
ish. Pretty much since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, since the Super Bowl.
So we've been the worst division in the league, and then now all of a sudden we've got a team that's 5-0 and 2 teams that are 4-1. Granted, the Commanders still stink, but it's pretty crazy. If you look at the playoff race right now, we have 3 teams from our division in the playoffs.
It's absurd. It's crazy to think, and the worst part is that I love actually is that people based on the worst schedule in the league, they're saying we're playing nobody, and I don't know what you want us to do.
It shouldn't matter. We're still beating NFL teams, and on top of that, the teams that always have the best record, that's what happens every year. It's not like we're the first teams to have this easy of a schedule.
what do you want? What do you want, national media? I'm shouting out Stephen A. Smith. I'm shouting out Colin Cowherd, especially. Don't put us as a top 5. We're not a top 5 team, Colin Cowherd. What does that mean? What do you mean we're not a top 5 team? We're 5-0. What does that mean, Colin Cowherd?
Screw that guy.
Podcast. I know we're going a little bit long, but it's Dallas week. I gotta get one more. I gotta get one more, Matt. The Cowboys. Go Birds.
I think that's a fair one. I'll give you the Cowboys on that.
Woo!
Yeah, this is a big. This has been such a massive week for sports in Philadelphia. It's so exciting.
We said the F word about, I think, more times than 10.
Yeah, that's okay. It's like I said, it's Cowboys week. It's allowed only this week. Only this week.
It won't happen again.
If we're not in the playoffs yet.
Well, it will happen again if we get murdered by Dallas. I will say it. a million.
Yeah, you might hear a few next episode if we lose to Dallas as well.
Oh, I will say I will. I don't think I think every other word will be. I don't think Matt will want me on a podcast next week. If we get obliterated by them and it's a bad game, I'm not. I don't think. I don't know if I'll. I'm not gonna be. I'll come on here like crying because I think we're gonna.
Hey, it's all right though. We're not looking for an L here. I actually the more I think about it, the more I look for reasons that the Eagles could possibly lose this game. I think it's harder to make an argument for the Cowboys than it is to make an argument against the Eagles. So, hey man, boys week.
We're gonna kill them.
I hope you're right.
Anyway, guys, great episode. I love you guys. I know it's coming out a little bit later than everyone anticipated, but we were busy this week from work, and it was just
apologies about that. Sometimes our schedules don't mix up quite right, but we're glad we could at least get it out for you before the game. So, let's have a good week here. Cowboys week. Let's go Birds.
Let's go.
Let's clinch that division this weekend, huh?
That'd be great. That would be great. If the Phils could win today, it's top 2 right now, 0-0. But could you imagine a weekend if the Phils win today and the Birds kill the Cowboys tomorrow?
Oh, it's one hell of a weekend, dude. Philly would be popping.
It would be one of the best places to be in America.
Well, aside from the crime and everything else, but
you don't talk about real. All right, we're not going to get into politics, guys.
But all right, it's been an awesome episode. Happy to be here. We will be back on Monday with a review of the game. So once again, my name is Matt Mitchell. I'm your host, here with my co-host Stephen Masley. And we will be signing out. Go Birds, go Phils.
Go Bird, baby.